It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shot.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Damas y caballeros, it's your boy Dave in the 702 coming at you live from the homie studio. Good to see you, Vince.
Good to see you, too.
At the Man Cave Studios. Back at it again. Shout out to everybody joining us today on a live stream during the day. We got some great news for the show. We ended up getting a second podcast mixer here. So it's finally coming together, Vince. Yeah. It's finally coming together. We got our camera. We're streaming in 720. I could see us on the big monitor. We got some microphones here. So things are looking up, man.
Yes,
One thing we got to remind people about is you came up with a great idea.
Yeah.
We can let the secret out now. Your nephew is...
Emiliano Vargas, Fernando Vargas, and Amado Vargas.
The Vargas dynasty.
Yes.
And you came up with a great, brilliant idea. You said, hey, let's let the audience come up with a name for a new sports show. It's going to be centered around boxing, but Vegas, all sports, man. We love football. We love talking about everything.
Yes. You
come up with the name. Start submitting it either on my Instagram or here in the comments section. And we're going to be giving away to the lucky winner, the person we pick with the best idea for the name of the show. And really, I think we want to target it for next year, 2026. Let's give people Christmas to think about it. You're going to get a autographed Emiliano Vargas glove.
Yes.
That's amazing. By the way, there is a Devin Haney glove that we've yet to do a contest for. So if you're listening, there is a Devin Haney glove 2 available. And that's a 3-division world champion. Shout out to Devin Haney. I love living in Vegas for this reason, Vince.
It's beautiful.
It's the fight capital of the world.
And you see them all over the place.
It's now becoming quickly a sports capital of the world, too.
Yes.
Okay, cool. You got it over there. We're looking good on that. All right, good. We can see each other. Like I said, guys, shout out to everybody. So I wanted to talk to you about some Vegas news, Vince. We were just talking about over by Durango Casino Station.
Yes.
Have you been there?
Never.
Oh, my God. It's nice, dude. It's so nice. So they got this place across the street from it called The Commons.
Yeah.
And it's like a shopping district with restaurants. And I think they got some bars. They got a nice Mexican restaurant, a new steakhouse. Well, anyways, I'm looking into all the news around the Las Vegas Athletics, the A's, right? Yes. Oakland A's. And you guys know I lived in the Bay Area. The Oakland A's, Sacramento A's. They're going to be the Las Vegas Athletics. So they finally have something called the Las Vegas Athletics Experience.
Have you been there?
I wish, bro. I was on this morning. I'm on the computer. I'm like, I saw it on the news.
Yeah.
They have a simulator. They have the actual stadium, a miniature model of the stadium. And this got me, bro. Did you see they showed it on the news that the entire dome lifted up?
Yeah.
So people on social media were like, is that for real? I'm like, whoa, is it for real? Like, is that going to come up and down?
I thought it was going to look that.
Because I would love that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I would love that. Shout out to the S Spider first in here. It is a daytime chat. Please let everybody know we're on here. If not, if you're catching it in the replay, show us some love in the comment section. So the canopy or the dome goes up and down, but then they ended up clarifying and saying, oh, no. That's only for the model, so you guys can get an idea of what it looks like inside the dome.
Yeah.
Man, come on. For what they're paying for, they should figure it out. They should have a dome that goes up and down.
Crazy.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
So they got the simulator, an experience too, where I guess they surround you with 3D walls and make you feel like you're at the stadium.
That's out there by your house, right?
Yeah, it's kind of Durango. I'm not too far away, but it's not exactly. I live closer to South Point, and shout out to South Point, by the way, guys, because it's National Finals Rodeo Week, and I see all the horses, and I'm gonna see all the cowboys for the next 2 weeks, bro.
Yeah.
So, and I got a story about that too. So the Oakland Athletics, they've got this experience now, and it says by appointment only. By appointment only. So I go there and I'm like, where do I go on the website? I want to make an appointment. I want to see it. I want to do this thing. And then I clicked on a link and it said, oh, here, you want to sign up here for exclusive $19.99. Sign up here. Give us your email. You got to pay $20 for the right to get an email when the tickets to the first ball game go on sale. Yeah. So none of the links take me to a place where I can sign up to go to actually the experience.
I wonder if you just walk in there.
Bro, that's what I'm gonna do, bro. Yeah. That's exactly the point.
Go with the camera.
We're gonna drive. We're gonna go over there and say, "Sign me up."
Yeah.
Okay, I don't get it. It's appointment only. Your
That's
website.
crazy.
The website is BS.
Yeah.
It sent me to a link to pay $19.99 for the privilege to find out when, as soon as regular home season tickets go available. I'm not interested in that. Yeah. I bet when they actually start playing games. Within a few months, those tickets are gonna be worth nothing, bro. Cheap. I hate to say it, but I feel like they're gonna be dirt cheap.
Just on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the tickets are gonna be expensive.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
When the big dogs are gonna be coming to Vegas.
Exactly. Well, you're gonna have all the international tourists. You're gonna have all the tourists that come here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're gonna say, you know what? I want to see the new baseball stadium.
And I wonder if we're gonna get the World Baseball League if it comes out here.
The World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. You got to host it. Yeah, exactly. That would be
nice.
That'd be a big boost. Probably be better than F1. And by the way, 1993 Cobra 347. Saludos. Appreciate you joining the show today. We got a lot to talk about. We're talking about right now about some Las Vegas stuff going on. The National Finals Rodeo. I said that comes to Vegas every Christmas.
Yeah.
It's a big deal because they make a lot of money at certain casinos. Silverton makes a lot of money. South Point Casino makes a lot of money. The Cowboys are all there. They have their own parties.
Yeah.
One time I went to a fight in December at MGM Grand, and they had a concert, a country music concert at the same time. And everybody from the boxing match was leaving, and all the Cowboys were arriving. And I'm like, is something going to go down? Because it looked like the Cowboys wanted to, the Cowboys were like, they're drunk.
Drinking hard liquor.
Hell yeah. I'm like, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
But they're cool, man. They're cool. So unfortunately, they said, and something you don't know about me, but my biological father is a huge rodeo guy. He was a big deal in Mexico, and he still is. My father raised thoroughbred horses for some of the best singers in Mexico. He breeds them. He doesn't raise them.
So he makes a lot of money.
He breeds show horses and bulls, competitive bulls for what do they call it? Jaripeo. Yeah, that's what my real dad does. And he's been an expert, and all his brothers were too. It was a family business, jaripeo. Now, about those horses, they're supposedly, this is crazy, guys. There is a herpes outbreak all over the U.S. for horses. So a lot of the teams that were coming to compete, their horses are sick, and so this may not be the best national NFR ever because the horses are sick all over the U.S. I didn't even know.
So they test the horses too?
Yeah. If your horse has it, it's out of the competition, right?
That. So they what about the ones that run around the track?
It could be there too. I have no idea. If anybody knows anything about show horses,
that's crazy.
But again, the news says that don't worry, a ton of people are coming to party no matter what.
Yeah,
horses sick or not. So
because I know they have Cowboy Christmas too, where you can go buy stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually. We should take. If you come by, man, we'll go up there and check it out.
They
on the
used to
second.
have it right there by the Venetian. What's that? Where they have the man? I can't think of it. It's a banquet area, a big banquet area.
Yeah,
right next to Harris, like in the back.
So they do that, all that Western gear. I was thinking I have some Mexican charro outfits, but like I was thinking of going there and trolling and making a video and see how long I can get away with pretending to be a cowboy. But the thing is, I don't have good boots.
Damn.
And I went over to the boot barn in Las Vegas on Las Vegas Boulevard. Yeah. Damn, it's expensive being a cowboy.
Man, it is.
It's expensive being a cowboy. The belt buckles.
The ostrich boots.
Oh, man. My God. My father-in-law bought some boots. I think he was like, I'm going to splurge. He came just here. Shout out to my father-in-law who just recently came. We went to the boot barn. He's like, I want the good stuff. They had ostrich. They had alligator. It's expensive to be a cowboy, guys. Yeah. So anyways, we're here at Vince's studio. One more story I wanted to talk about while I wait for our good friend Lucas Cattell, and we'll get into some boxing story. But Odell Beckham Jr., football player, right? Yeah. Okay, he's been in the news this whole week. People are upset. This is Christmas, and a lot of people in this country are having a hard time financially. They say a lot of people, period, are living check to check in this country. Yeah. Well, he goes on an interview and tells the people that $100 million ain't what it used to be. $100 million is nothing. Well, as a NFL player, as a regular person, I think $1 million is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, he's telling everybody to feel sorry for him because he's blown a 5-year contract, $100 million. He's auctioning off stuff. He blew 100. He's gone through $100 million.
That's his fault.
There's no financial, like they've tried to do financial literacy for NFL players to teach them, hey, your career may only last 3 years. This is what you got to do to prepare. So when you're done in the NFL, you got money left over. I don't think he took a single class.
Remember, Ocho Cinco would buy fake jewelry.
Yeah, that's a smart guy.
Yeah.
That's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Now, there isn't fake jewelry. And the jewelry thing, I'm glad you brought that up because Jackson Dart this week, New York Giants, came back from concussion protocol and was wearing...
That's the quarterback. That's a bad diamonds.
The diamond thing?
That was his sister's.
Right, that's what I heard.
Yeah, he said it.
So I heard it's his sister's, and then he had people say, I don't know if it came from his, he says, it's not real. So don't worry about it. It's from my sister. It's not real, but it's sentimental, and it's good luck.
It looks nice.
It looks great. It had a lot of bling. Yeah. But he said, don't worry about it. It wasn't real because, I'm not going to destroy the diamonds pop off on the field. And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, would you really wear something that fancy? But he said, no, it's sentimental. I'm coming back from concussion protocol, and it's good luck. Yeah. So they didn't win. Well, I'm saying it wasn't that good luck. But the point is that he wanted to wear that, and it's not real now. Well, you said Ocho Cinco used to wear fake jewelry. Yeah. Shout out to him. I've heard of a few NFL players that are like, you know what, man, I just buy all my jewelry on Amazon. But cars, you can't do that with cars. I can't go out and buy a fake Rolls Royce.
That'd be hilarious.
Was it Jamar Chase? Who's it we were just talking about? Wide receiver?
Yeah.
Did you see his car?
Bengals? No, but I seen Luka's car from the Lakers. He got a Bugatti. A $5 million Bugatti.
Oh my God. Well, I guess that's nothing because Jamar this weekend Chase made waves this weekend because he pulled into a customized $500,000 Rolls Royce coupe.
Jeez.
So again, you got people all over the world, all over the U.S. struggling during the holidays, thinking about how they can afford groceries and buy gifts for their children. And then you have super athletes that, want you to feel sorry for them because they say $100 million isn't enough money.
It's crazy.
But then they're spending it on $500,000 cars when you could be buying yourself a house.
It's crazy.
Right here where we live in Las Vegas, you can buy a nice house for $500,000.
Yeah, or a good one for $300,000.
I'm going to tell you, that car is probably not going to be worth even half that in 5 years.
Unless you don't drive it enough.
Exactly.
So he will show it off.
So I appreciate everybody that's here. We have my friend from BoxingScene.com, Lucas Cattell. Just waiting for him to see if he's going to make it or not. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. Let me just send him a message that we are live. And if you're tuning in, guys, I appreciate it wherever you're tuning in from.
Smash that like.
Smash that like, man. You got it, bro.
And share it.
Tons of news this week. We got
crazy news.
We got a big fight. And the reason why I wanted to bring Lucas Cattell on from BoxingScene.com is because he wrote a great article about his top 10 list of welterweights.
Yeah.
In the welterweight division, we have got some big news. Let's first talk about the WBC, the sanctioning bodies, because if you're a boxing fan, a hardcore boxing fan, you know that there are 4 sanctioning bodies. There are 4 different paths to becoming a world champion. And then there's the Ring Magazine.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, Ring, that's free.
The Ring Magazine one is free.
I'll go for that belt.
And you could be the Ring Magazine champ and not have all 4 titles like undisputed. But Canelo Alvarez was undisputed for so long, super middleweight, quite an accomplishment. He beat a lot of people.
A lot.
And we just had a super fight with right here in Las Vegas against Terence Bud Crawford. Now, Terence Bud Crawford is in the news, guys. Shout out to JC. I appreciate you for being here, man. Glad to have you on the daytime stream. And also SoCal Darius, man. Good to have you as well, guys. So Terence Crawford showed off his collection.
Beautiful.
It's like, we're here at Vince's Man Cave here, studios. And he had a beautiful collection of all the accomplishments, all his belt. Now,
beautiful belts.
He basically told the WBC, Suleiman from Mexico, the WBC released a statement saying that they've stripped him of his title.
Yeah.
He is no longer undisputed. He did not want to pay the $300,000.
$300,000. Come on, I would pay it.
Is that an annual? Is that an annual fee?
300,000? Nah.
All right, we're going to test it, guys. We're going to add my good friend Lucas Cattell of BoxingScene.com. Oh! Squeeze in a little bit, Vince. There we go. Lucas, can you hear us? Lukey?
The mic's off? Or are you going to turn it up?
Muted in sound levels. Give me a second, guys. I'm not at my house. Interview. Okay, Lukey, can you hear us now?
I can hear you.
All right, and I can see you too. I appreciate you guys. This is Lucas Cattell. Make sure you guys go subscribe to his channel at Big Dog Lukey and subscribe to him because he's got fantastic content as well as being a contributing staff writer for BoxingScene.com. Man, it's been a minute, Lukey. Good to see you. Oh, did I mute you again?
No. I'm just multitasking. I'm technically at work, but I'm also waiting on a package.
All right.
And today is probably the best day that you could do it. I'm not in the studio because I'm in what I call like my workspace. But yeah, I mean, life's good, man. Ready to talk boxing with you guys.
What do you think of the new backdrop? I'm not at my house either. You see this portable studio that we got going on here. This is my co-host for today, Vince. 702 Man Cave.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing, Vince? Pleasure to meet you. And I mean, this takes me back to home, right? It looks like a boxing gym, and I mean, that's where I've spent over a majority of my life for at least the last 15 years. I've been in boxing gyms, so that just looks like a place I'd visit along the road, you know?
You're welcome to come visit when you come into Vegas.
Okay, I got to. That's a bucket list.
He also is excluding the fact that he happens to be the uncle of the Vargas dynasty.
Yeah.
Well, those are some real good fighters, you know, and just not a little side note about the Vargas dynasty. I'm always impressed with how they handle the stardom and expectation along with everything, because I think that obviously the fans have made a deep connection to their father, and it's not always easy to follow in their footsteps. And I mean, he raised some great young people, because when you meet them, they're just outstanding. But I think they've also taken those steps in the public eye very well, and they don't often get complimented for how they've done that.
Yeah, they're good kids. Really good kids.
Indeed. Vince and I were just talking about, well, we got a great fight coming up this weekend, one that's been full of controversy, last-minute controversy, the PBC card this weekend. But we were just talking about, okay, not to overlook the fight Sugar Shane Mosley Jr. has, but that the oldest son, Junior, would make a fantastic fight to see two sons of two former legends
that'd be awesome.
Get it on in the middleweight division, right? I like it.
Hell yeah.
I mean, there's a few of them, right? I think Victor Guerrero, who's part of the Guerrero family, is in the mix, so you could throw him in there. I mean, I think that all those guys deserve good fights. You know, Shane especially has worked his butt off and reinvented himself. He deserves a few high-profile fights, and you know, people were critical of Fernando to a certain degree, but I thought he did great against Callum Walsh. If anything, he maybe even overachieved some people's expectations going into that fight, so why not? But once again, I think we have to just stay with what's ahead of us, because Jesus Ramos Jr. is one of my favorite fighters. But Shane Mosley Jr. is probably one of the most underrated fighters coming into this week. He's really grown a lot as a fighter, and I think people really love to write him off unfairly.
Yeah, it sucks.
And Lukey, I wonder if that has anything to do with some of the odds. I saw that Jesus was probably the biggest, had the widest spread there, you know, and Mosley Jr. is the biggest underdog, according to DraftKings.com for this.
Guys, I have to handle something.
Sure. Call me back if you want. Okay, he's going to hang up. Anyways, I forgot to say that, you know, speaking of the Bay Area, shout out to the Guerrero family, because he's on the card. Junior's on the card. He
is?
Yeah, he is. It's a big card. There's a lot of people.
Robert's an awesome guy.
So Robert Guerrero Jr., his son, is actually on the card.
I didn't know that.
Let me just confirm that. Now, I think he's going to be on the possibly the YouTube version, the YouTube telecast. So his Robert Guerrero here, 6-0, to be announced. I'm not sure, but it looks like he will be most likely on the YouTube portion of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, almost 12 fights. And of course, man, you heard the big news. We got PED scandals. We have the WBC going on. And I'll just ask you right now, and shout out to everybody listening. Were you surprised? Oh, Lukey's back.
Hello.
Just for the people, like letting them know, I'm at like a workspace, but it's a private, secluded, rural workspace. It's in the country, and I'm waiting on like a delivery of some sort. And someone just drove up, and it's very uncommon when people drive because this is an industrial road. So if you see me, because I usually shut the gate, if you see me disappear, I'm either getting a package or trying to figure out why someone's coming to a very remote space in the country. This is about maybe 10 miles outside of anything, and you have to drive 1 mile down an isolated road. So if a car comes here, it's very unusual. So you will see me get up and disappear.
You're a whole mile off the main road?
I'm a whole mile off the main road in my work office.
How far are you to like the grocery stores or something?
From this location, about 20-25 minutes. Yeah.
My wife.
So I mean, that's why I'll disappear. Like for that one, it's like someone just pulled up and I didn't recognize the vehicle. So you have to kind of, what do they say? You meet things head on.
Yeah.
Lukey, I moved to the most congested. I can't believe how congested. I moved from one city. I moved from the South Bay to another. Like there's buildings going on up everywhere around me, and sometimes I wonder if I'm ready for that lifestyle. My wife's uncle once lived in Carmel on a preserve, and he was. God, man, he was miles from the main road when we'd go. But it was Carmel, and I know you know the area, Pebble Beach, Carmel. It was absolutely beautiful. Maybe I'm ready for that, bro. Give me a rancho. Give me a ranch, and I'll just...
If I do, I need street lights, because when I go somewhere it's dark, I'm like, what the heck?
That is true. Lukey, there's so much stuff going on in the world of boxing. But the Bay Area, I wanted to touch on this lightly, guys, and I don't know how deep I want to go, but I'm disturbed by, and I'm saddened terribly by what's been going on in Northern California, the Bay Area, Stockton, California. Gabe Flores is going to be fighting in Stockton, right? Just the Matchroom boxing card, Diego Pacheco, is that still going on in just 2 weeks?
I don't see why it wouldn't, I haven't seen any information it isn't. I believe you're alluding to there was a tragic, from what I understand, shooting. I don't know much of the details. I've just heard about it from the news. It's unfortunate that Stockton, a lot of places, right, Stockton, Oakland, have very sad situations because of underlying issues, if we're being honest. There's issues that for whatever reason aren't taken care of, and a lot of them stem from poverty or basic human needs or abilities to be able to take care of themselves. And then we see issues like this pop up. And I think that's what's so unique about boxing is boxing, along with other things, other sports, and give people in these communities that might have no chance or a very rough chance a way to empower and become role models to people of different economic classes. So as far as I know, the event is on, and I'm quite excited because Stockton, not unlike Fresno or Vegas, is like a second home to me. And I think that given what's happened in Stockton, and by no means am I someone to speak for the people of Stockton, I think that people in Stockton want to go to a family-friendly event that uplifts the community, and I think a boxing show could really do that at this time.
Indeed. And this boxing is a poor man's sport. People rise out of poverty from it, and so it's always great when we see people who have grown up, as they say, with a silver spoon, like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., accomplish the things that hungry fighters have accomplished. So I always admire those athletes too. By no means did the Vargas dynasty grow up in poverty, but they've got the heart, the same heart that somebody from an impoverished area would. Yes. And the reason why I reached out to you this week about the Stockton thing, though, I wanted to talk to you about that, is because Gabe Flores is on the card, and there are several publications out there saying that it was indeed his relative, and I cannot validate that. When he was,
so I can't speak on that. I haven't spoken to Gabe in the build-up to this fight. I think that any publication that gives any statement on that needs to check with the family directly I can't speak on it, but I just think that let me go on a different thing. We're getting it, and I get it from a news standpoint. You always want to be first. But on issues like these issues, it's really important, in my opinion, that it comes from the people that are affected by it. Right? So something impacts my life. It's someone that I'm close to. Media outlets need to be careful to not try to rush to be first and put things out there. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but that's something that I see commonly with Instagram and all this, is there's a rush to be first. I don't know how it impacts Gabe.
Yeah, social media in general. Everybody wants to be first on social media.
No, and I don't even know, did he speak to this?
No.
So that's what I'm saying is, like, I assumed that he didn't speak on the situation, and we should allow him and his father. They're very good at using the internet. They're very good at speaking. We should let them speak on the situation when they feel comfortable, because this is a very sensitive topic, because this is not like a boxing match is sensitive too, but this is people's lives that are going to continue on from a highly traumatic event that's more than likely going to traumatize people for the rest of their life based on this. So I can't speak on the issue because I don't have any direct knowledge. I know that I'm there for, they already know this, but I'm there for them if they need me, but I don't have any information on what occurred, you know, and all I know is that I just saw it. I drove back from Fresno, and I heard about it, and I saw one news report that my girlfriend watched with me last night. So that's about as much as I know about the situation.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely praying for everybody out there who's been affected by it. This summer, I lost two people that I considered friends to gun violence in Las Vegas, and it was... And I know that the family, it's Christmas, so a lot of people are still dealing with that. I just pray for everybody who's impacted by all of this horrible gun violence going on out there. And I pray for the community in Stockton that, you know, this will be an uplifting event, and I'm excited for them, you know. Like you said, this town, they need that type of family event. So thank you guys for joining us. It's Lucas Cattell from Boxing Scene. Shout out to Little Penny in the chat. So, Lucas, you wrote an incredibly good article the other day. You always write great stuff, and I follow you on boxingscene.com about the welterweight division, and it's been a couple of weeks now, and it's post Brian Norman, Devin Haney, and I wanted to hear your thoughts on that division. Has your list changed? And what are your thoughts on this WBC wanting to have Conor Benn, who has not fought in the division in 3 years, be the next man up for the winner of the Ryan Garcia-Mario Barrios fight? What do you? I mean, that's a lot to digest there, right?
3 years.
I mean, look, Devin's obviously the best guy in the division after beating Norman, and I think Devin has an underrated jab. One could even argue that's like the most of his offense comes from his jab. And it's for someone not thought of as a power puncher, it's a very powerful jab. It's a strong jab. And I think that the welterweight division is changing. And we're going to see a lot of the players at 140. I think historically guys at 140 take a pit stop and then go to 47. So I'm very curious to see what Shakur, Teofimo. I mean, you guys would know more than me. Is that fight contracted for 140 pounds or is that 135?
140.
140 pounds, yeah.
That's a 140. I assumed it was 140, but I wanted to say that. So I would wonder if those guys are going to be at welterweight sooner rather than later. I'd wonder if Keyshawn Davis might be at 147 sooner rather than later. Feels like a lot of the big names of this era are going to get to 47 rather soon. The second part about Conor Benn, I mean, that's just boxing. Did you see the event that he was a part of? I mean, he won a big spectacle event against Chris Eubank. A lot of people tuned in. It's a stadium fight. You know, guys that have big events that lead the top of the card sometimes get opportunities. And it's people will have a love-hate relationship with it, but in this instance, the welterweight division isn't that dynamic right now. So like in a perfect world, who would you guys rather see fight than Conor Benn? Like who would be the guy that you guys would rather see in that position?
I like to see him fight Devin Haney.
Okay, well he'd like a unification.
Yeah.
I just find it difficult to absorb that the WBC at times makes decisions that seem favoritism. Like there's favoritism, where Conor hasn't fought in the division, and there are guys who fought in the division, but most of those guys don't have big names. Your list that you put up, I looked at it and I was like, I haven't actually seen everybody on this list fight. I'm not too keen on some of the new British champions and some of the British fighters on that. So, and Conor Benn is a name that most American fans have probably already either seen fight or have heard of. And therefore it's like, yeah, it is a tough division, Lukey. It doesn't feel like the division of past years.
Oh no.
Where it was a glory division when Mayweather was there, right?
The money.
Now it kind of feels like welterweight is the division people are waiting to jump to the next division. You're either going to go dive deep into the 154 division with Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis, or you're going to hang out at 140 and see what you could accomplish there. Wasn't Teofimo thinking about jumping up to welterweight prior? He's been talking about it for a while. Now he's got a big fight with Shakur, and now there's no mention of jumping up.
Well, remember, he wanted to fight Crawford.
Yeah, he's talked.
So he's talking about jumping up.
Is it the least glamorous division to you right now, Lukey? Welterweight?
Well, if you look at boxing right now, a lot of the quote-unquote big names are older, and a lot of the divisions are changing. So I don't think that you can point to any one division right now and go, man, that's a glamorous division. I think there's a lot of divisions that are changing. So I'll just go through it right now. Featherweight, who's the man there? Changing division. 130, maybe we get some clarity this weekend. It'll probably be Shock Foster. Fulton's the number one guy. Does Roach come back and fight at 130? I don't know. Lightweight, is lightweight super deep right now? We just lost maybe two champions. Does Shakur come back? Does Gervonta Davis come back? What does that division look like if they're not at the division? What does Andy Cruz Muratalo look like? What's 40 look like? What's 47? 54 is always deep. 6 middleweight, who's there? Super middleweight's completely changing because Canelo and Crawford, are they going to face up-and-comers? So I think it's not just welterweight. I think people are just having to understand there's new stars emerging and the sport is changing, and we're about to see who the next era of guys are. And there's going to be guys that we fell in love with in the past 10 years that retire, and there's going to be guys that really make that leap to the top of the card in the next year or two. And I think that in these transition years, that's when things. People start to go, it's a shallow division. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's a shallow division because we haven't seen the performances yet from those up and comers. Like a Rohan Polanco maybe becomes a standout guy that people are excited about or such.
Yeah, the big news this week, obviously, did this come to you as a surprise that Janibek was caught with a banned substance, and therefore now he's had to. They pulled him out of that championship unification matchup. At middleweight, I was excited to see a unification because I thought maybe perhaps Terence Crawford could be enticed to come down to middleweight, a division where he leaped over, does not have a title. And I really want to see Terence Crawford win a 5th division. I'd really like to see it. And now we hear the news Janibek has to pull out of the main event because of a PED issue. Were you surprised by that?
I'm going to answer like Beanie Siegel and answer a question with a question and simply say who saw this coming, right? It's a Tuesday that's the week of the fight, and there's a change. I don't think anyone expected that to happen. So, yeah, I mean, it caught everyone off guard. It seems who expected this to happen fight week?
It actually reminds me of Keith Thurman with Sebastian Fundora, the week of the fight. And some people don't know, PBC does a really good job of what they do is they contract fighters to be on standby. So Johan Gonzalez was probably the guy who was tasked with being in camp, being ready to fight. And here we are just like a year later, March 2025. Sebastian Fundora was going to fight Keith One-Time Thurman.
Who did you like in that fight?
Was that?
Who did you like? Who did you take?
Wait a minute. That's not what
they did fight.
They ended up.
Did he hurt his hand?
Sebastian Fundora ended up fighting the Australian fighter.
No, but didn't he? I thought him and Thurman were supposed to fight, but then ticket sales.
I got it all messed up. Echo, bro. Wiley, it must be really bad, guys. I don't understand. It's because I'm not on my home computer. Who's echoing? Is it me and Vince, or is it our guest?
Is it me? Hello.
Because as you can see, I'm using a laptop. We got a mobile system. Lukey, I hopefully it comes out good. People have been saying that there is an echo. I don't know where it's coming from, but I always appreciate you being here. We'll go for as long as...
Is it on my end?
You sound great to me. Like there's no echo here, but there's an echo out there to the audience. So bear with us, guys. We didn't plan on going past 3 anyways. And again, this is all new studio equipment, and I'll have to figure it out. Check. But we'll get back to this. So Johan Gonzalez hops in to replace Janibek. And why not Jesus Ramos, who I would say that's an interim fight that they had set, and he was ready to fight on that card. Do you have any idea why they don't just have somebody on the fight with a bigger name get an opportunity?
So I'm going to mute my computer's audio while I speak, and maybe that'll help with the echo, just in case, and then I'll turn it back on when I mute my broadcast. I think that this just speaks to the unexpected nature of what occurred, right? This was a unification fight, a very exciting fight. I know personally I was really had a belief that Arislan Lara could really pull an upset here. You know, I think that he has a style to fight well into his mid-40s, if not even be a 50-year-old champion. And, you know, I think that it was just so unexpected that it comes down to who's ready, willing, and able to take a title fight against one of the trickiest champions of the last 10 years.
Indeed, right?
Yep. He's slick.
Do you think Jesus Ramos, you mentioned him being one of your favorite fighters. He's an absolute great guy, and I want to send love to everybody out in Arizona that might be listening. You think he's actually going to come down? I haven't talked to him in a while either. You think he might come back down to that 154 division where he has some really good wins, including a win over Brian Mendoza, who's the only person who stopped Sebastian Fundora, other prospects. You think he comes back down?
It's hard to know, right? Because he's a really big guy, and I know he lives the life of a fighter and he stays disciplined. I think for him, he's in the position where he should be fighting for a title soon. Like he's in that spot where he's won the fights where you'd expect him to get a big opportunity. So I don't know what the answer is, but I would assume it's probably... He'll probably be at middleweight because it's a little bit more wide open of a division. Maybe he goes down to 54, but if there's more opportunities and he's capable of being a top operator at middleweight, I mean, really, out of all the divisions in boxing, if we're just, being boring boxing like manager guys, which is, the best form of content, everyone loves that content. I think that middleweight's in need of some new exciting faces, and I think Jesus Ramos Jr. actually could really possibly fill that spot. That being said, Shane Mosley Jr. is a real fight, and people are really underestimating how good Shane is.
Yeah, I was telling Vince, I was telling my audience the other day that I got a chance to see him in person at one of the fights at the casinos, and what was impressive about him was he was with the whole camera crew. Like, he's the only athlete that I saw walking around with the whole camera crew. He just owned it. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like almost, I don't know how to say, like, he has that like celeb effect.
Then he had his belt with him too.
he carries it well. Yes. And it's not, a lot of fighters are pretty low key actually. So, but I mean, if he can get this huge upset over Jesus, that'd be amazing. But I'm actually, and shout out to King Zelly in here from Arizona. Of course, I'm going to go with my boy Jesus on this one, and he is the heavy favorite. That division you just mentioned, a middleweight division, that it needs new faces. Well, the big news today that's everyone's talking about is the. Okay. Show that to the camera. The big news is that the WBC says they stripped Terence Crawford of his WBC super middleweight title. Terence Crawford has let everybody know he didn't have any intention or didn't want to pay the $300,000 licensing fee.
I wouldn't pay it.
What does it cost to be undisputed in all sanctioning fees or all 4 titles? Lukey, do you have an estimation? Is it over $1 million?
I don't know.
Well, he let everybody know the WBC is charging him $300,000. So 4 titles. I'm imagining if the other WBO and the other belts are that expensive. Even some people on social media were interested in wondering, is this monetary? Is this based on monetary? Does he really not have the money? Is it just a big FU? Like, I don't care about your belts. I don't care to fight who you tell me to fight. I mean, that was the thing with Canelo too, where he didn't want to have the IBF dictate to him a mandatory. Usyk recently gave up one of his titles. He's no longer undisputed again. Are these sanctioning bodies, are they worth it to some of these athletes? I feel like he's making a good stand to let everybody know, look, I'm the shot caller, and yes, I don't need these titles at this point in my career. But what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think my opinion on this is it's pretty simple. As guys get older, they get tired, and they just want to do what's simple. And if he didn't want to pay it, he didn't want to pay it. And it's just as simple as that. I think the sanctioning bodies provide a great opportunity for young fighters to establish themselves as the best fighters in the world. They serve a great purpose. And when fighters get towards the end of their career, they can make whatever decision they want because they're a distinguished champion. And I think this is just a point in Crawford's career where this is something that he decided to do. Once again, this is a great question for Terence Crawford or those involved. It just seems like it just is what it is. He decided not to pay it. The sanctioning body can decide to not be happy that he's not paying it, and life will move on. And I think that, it'll be what it is, but I do think that we shouldn't discount the importance of the sanctioning bodies because they allow guys and gals to go from young, vibrant up-and-comers to champions that we create memories with, largely because the belts matter. And those title fights, though we laugh at some of the mandatories, they are viewed as the biggest fights that can be made in the division, the meaningful fights, and they typically have the fights where guys leave a bit of themselves in the ring. So I think the long answer is this is what happens when guys get tired. When they get old, they've had long careers, and they're just tired, and they just make a decision, and they're just going to stick to it.
Lukey, I'm going to speak for the boxing fans who right now, the hardcore fans that are saying they feel that probably they think that there's preferential treatment and that the sanctioning bodies don't all function the same way. Specifically, I'm talking about in regards to PEDs, the situation with Ryan Garcia getting a light suspension by the New York State Athletic Commission. And now we have another case of Osterine with a WBC champion in Subriel Matias, where from what I understand and what I read, they said that the amount of Osterine was below the limit threshold. And so therefore he will be suspended, but he will not be stripped of his title.
Wow.
Where the difference in the case with Ryan Garcia was that Ryan Garcia was 60 times over the threshold. He was 60 times over the threshold. Now, the WBO, they got their hands full now too with Janibek. And they're going to have to go through the entire process that Ryan Garcia went through. And do you ultimately think that there's a potential for Janibek to be stripped of his title? Because
of course, whenever there's a situation like that, we weigh the outcomes, and he could be stripped or not stripped. It's just like I'm not really an investigative journalist, and these issues are very complicated. And I don't really understand what's happening because there, you have to really be an expert and you have to really understand through years and years of investigative journalism to understand what chemicals do what, and to really, you're almost like a litigator at this point because you're able to break down. I think whenever there's an adverse test finding or anything of that nature, any outcome is always possible. And I think that the big thing is due process with all these cases. People always immediately jump to guilt because of the finding. And I think that you have to really, really, as I've done this longer and longer, move slower and look at what the factual information are, and then try to understand the logic for what the decision is at the end of whatever happens.
Yeah, I wanted to also say, rest in peace to Victor Conti. I was looking, he passed away recently, and I talked about it on our show, his battle with cancer. Rest in peace to him. But I was looking to see if there was still going to be a segment of boxing fans on social media who would be using him as a scapegoat for VADA. There was a lot of hate on Victor and his relationship with VADA. And now VADA comes up as the testing agency for one of these recent cases. And it's like, do we still blame Victor? He's no longer with us. Honestly, I'm looking for it. And there are still people who maybe didn't get the message, did not hear the news that Victor Conti passed away. And there are still people out there blaming him in situations like this. It makes me wonder how, with Paramount and the UFC deal, Lukey, coming right around the corner, how they're going to handle it. What their method of testing is going to be, if it's going to be better than what the current boxing sanctioning bodies are going to do. It makes me wonder how they're going to handle it. I bet in-house. Will they be better at it? Is that one fact? Is that one positive in the sport of boxing?
I mean, it's yet to be determined, and I think the tough thing about these situations are I think everyone tries to do their best, but it's like a complicated legal matter. So the issue that's difficult is in boxing, I think the fans jump to an assumption, or they look at, okay, this is what's going to happen. And that's not how the legal process works, and that's not how a failed test works. So there's all these forms and different processes you have to go through, but then there's the court of public opinion, which is a 10-second interaction. And I think that at times, different sanctioning bodies have had successes and failures because it's a very difficult thing to get right all the time, because there are gray areas, and there is... And until you basically say, no matter if you were in the right or wrong, if you come up for a failure, then you're just suspended. Until there's a zero tolerance, it's tricky, right? Because you have to really understand what it is, and then you have to go through a process. And I think that that's the toughest thing about talking about this subject matter is no one wants to talk about the difficulties and the process. They just want to go not to say that's what we're doing, but how does it get better? How do we improve? How does this not occur? When I think it's doing an all right job as it is, it's just a tricky thing because you have to go through steps and process, and that's what makes it hard.
Indeed. So speaking of the WBC, they're doing their thing in Thailand, and a lot of news have been made out of what's going on with the WBC conference. One thing that I think is positive, I've been kind of high on Ben Whitaker. Lukey, we saw him fight. He blasted out his opponent Gavazi in one round this weekend. And David Benavidez is shocking. It's shocking to me, but David Benavidez is the one showing interest in fighting Ben Whitaker, perhaps maybe even in the UK. Whitaker is a silver medalist. And there are people out on social media saying, oh, come on, he's not ready. He's not ready. They're both 28 years old. Yeah. I'm impressed with the fact that David Benavidez is acknowledging him. Maybe he's watched him fight enough. Maybe he likes his style, the showbiz, and thinks that they could potentially make a good fight. Maybe even in the UK for David Benavidez. So what did you think of Whitaker's performance this weekend? Is he growing? Is he really that far removed? Because the WBC says that he's in line to fight David Benavidez, right? He's pretty close to being a mandatory at this point.
So to the best of my understanding, he's being ordered, or there's an eliminator fight between him and Joshua Buatsi. He'd have to win a fight with Buatsi, who's also an Olympic, a 2016 Olympian. Ben Whitaker is someone I've been watching since the 2020 Olympics. He had a fight with Iman Kitov. He had a star appeal to him. I think he's an interesting fighter in British boxing in the sense that he doesn't kind of, I don't want to say more American, but he's more of like a Prince Nazim, and he's more of a loud personality, whereas you look at a lot of British fighters, typically it's like a more blue-collar approach. It's like the man's man, I'm the carpenter. Even with Joshua, who's a larger-than-life figure, there's like a stoic nature to Joshua, where he might talk a little trash, but like when it's fight week, he's got his what are they called, iPods in, and he doesn't give many answers. And it's almost like a throwback to like this sense of British where you reserve and you hold stuff in. And for me, what's really fascinating about Whitaker is obviously he's talented, but it's that he's this unique British figure that we haven't seen since like Prince Nazim. Now he's stepping up when he fights Buatsi. That's a real fight. If he wins the fight, then he's ready for whoever. I don't think the fans should be like, oh man, you're not ready. If you win the fights, you're ready for whatever comes before you. You know, I think that for me, I think he's as talented as, any up-and-comer. It's just more so about how does his personality match with the British fans, and is he the rare British fighter where the British fans aren't behind him? They're more looking to see him lose, because I think that I'm not sure where the British fans currently sit with him.
Do we have any British fans? I wonder if we have anybody. I know we have some people here in New Zealand. Shout out to Little Penny. But that's a great question you asked. Do they like all that extra he does? The whole showboating. I also wonder if David Benavidez is a fan of boxing history in the sense that he looks at this as an opportunity, like when Prince Nassim came to the U.S. and was humbled by the Mexican fighter. Like maybe David Benavidez wants to put his version of that, put his stamp on.
That'd be nice.
It would be nice. So you want to see,
you
want to see Prince, you want to see Ben Whitaker get humbled. Yeah, there might be a section out there that wants to see him humbled. I, for one, always thought, look, you got a great point. If David Morrell wasn't ready, he wouldn't have accepted that fight. David Morrell had less than 15 pro fights, and he took on David Benavidez. I think Ben Whitaker's plenty ready, but he does have a tall task in front of him, and he does have to get past Buatsi. If you guys have watched him in the light heavyweight, he's no easy task. It's not going to be an easy job assignment. So let's do something fun.
I'd like to add to it just a little bit is, Benavidez is doing what great champions do. And it's like part of the great champion arc is there's a young up-and-comer. He looks promising. Who cares if he's ready or not? He wants to challenge me. Great fighters, great champions fight guys, whether they're qualified or not. If they want to step up, then they give them a chance. And the really good ones shut the door on them. And you have a few guys in an era that probably should have been Hall of Fame boxers that don't get to be, because there's one guy that shuts the door. And I think that we talk about, who's Benavidez's great fight. Well, if you look right now, his best fight in recent memory besides Morrell was Gvozdyk, which many people perceived as a stay busy fight wrongly. That was a great challenger willing to take a thing. So I think that this is how Benavidez builds a great resume, is taking willing contenders who are an interesting opponent and furthering his legacy.
Salute to Team Batman Boxing. He says, I believe he's saying he's from the UK, and I appreciate you being here. And he's not got respect of hardcores, and casuals are still debating how good he is. And I'm sure you're speaking on Ben Whitaker. Lukey, I appreciate you joining us. Again, guys, make sure you're subscribed to @BigDogLukey on YouTube here. I'll put that later in the description. Let's do something really fun before we get off. I said we'd get off by 3.
You can run over. You can run a little over if you want. It's okay.
Let's hear your picks. And do you know who Robert Guerrero Jr. is fighting by any chance? I'm excited to see him.
I don't.
Okay. I don't have any information on that either, but I'm going to presume he's going to be on the YouTube portion of the telecast before they go live on Amazon Prime pay-per-view. Rancis Bartholomew only has 3 losses. Former world champion, taking on Frank Martin at 140 pounds. What do you think of this fight? Do you think Frank Martin's going to be a serious player in this division now?
Long layoff. Do you want me to pick the fights, break down?
Yeah,
what do you want me to?
Well, and I'll give Vince a chance to cement his too, because I think I did mine with Drew Evo. So yeah,
I just hope Frank Martin fights his fight. Don't fight Rance's fight, because it's gonna be a boring fight. He fights Rance's fight.
Cuban style.
Yes.
What do you think, Lukey?
I think this is going to be a weird fight. Frank's coming off a long layoff. He's moving up in weight, and he's fighting a spoiler. Rancis, at this point in his career, I think is more of just a guy that looks for one punch. With Ramirez, we saw that. I think this could be a 96-94, 97-93 Frank Martin win, but I think it's going to be an ugly, weird fight where people start to wonder, what does Frank have? I mean, I think it's hard to come back against a fighter like Rancis Barthélemy off of a very big layoff. And why I say Rancis Barthélemy is a hard person to come back against. His whole style is to offset your rhythm, and Frank is going to be coming in with a layoff, so he's not going to probably have that sharpness from being active. And he's fighting a guy where the whole game plan of Rancis is, how can I make you off rhythm? And it just seems like this is going to set up for a very weird fight, because if Rancis has any form of success, it's going to show the ring rust in Frank Martin. And I'm expecting kind of, a fight that's weird.
Point well taken. I think Rancis is pretty awkward, man. He does have that. He still has a lot of power.
Yeah.
Frank Martin by decision, but again, it could be ugly. But I also feel like potentially the Shane Mosley Jr., Jesus Ramos Jr. fight could be ugly. Do you think so, Lukey? How do you think this one plays out?
Yeah, I mean, talk me through, what do you see? Because I see different scenarios in that fight, but how do you see that fight going?
Apologize. I think we lost my camera. The fight that Jesus had with Erickson Lubin, that's the type of ugly I think it could fall into. I don't want to see Jesus get too comfortable. And if he does have an opportunity to hurt Mosley, I think he needs to jump on it and never go back to what that performance of Erickson Lubin is, where he, if he has an opportunity to hurt him, I think he needs to jump on it, because there's, I think you made a good point that people underestimate Mosley Jr.'s boxing skills. When he's on, he's pretty good, but he's had performances where sometimes he looked lackluster, or sometimes he feels like a hit or miss fighter. But when he's on, he even reminds me of his father a little bit. This is not the first fight for Jesus Ramos at 160. He is a heavy favorite, and I don't think it's going to be as wide as people think, but I think he wins the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah? What are your thoughts?
I'm hoping Shane wins, but I don't think he's going to beat him. I'm hoping.
Lukey, any chance of an upset? Because like I said, it's the widest odds on DraftKings.
Well, I think everything tells you Jesus Ramos should win. I mean, he's a very talented fighter. He's probably capable of doing more things than Shane is in the ring. He's younger. He's always stood out as a superstar level boxer to me. That being said, that Lubin fight was very cautionary. And if Shane starts winning a lot of rounds early, this could be one of those you're living a nightmare, because the thing with Jesus is he's had a couple of fights where guys have kind of built up early leads on him. One is Luke Santamaria, the Lubin fight. I thought that he won both of those, but those were close. The layoff is going to be a big thing for Shane. I think that also Shane had faltered early in his career. He's going on about like a 4 to 5 year run right now of being the best version of himself. Since he lost to Jason Quigley, he came back, beat Gabriel Rosado. He's really a better fighter than people look at. I think the big thing is punch volume. Whoever can throw more punches in this fight is going to win. They both have a tendency to not throw a ton. So I think whoever's throwing more punches and dictating the pace, I would lean towards Jesus Ramos. But once again, this feels like it's going to be, I don't know if the scores are going to be competitive, but this is going to be a very competitive high-level fight.
Actually, that may play out that it may be more entertaining than I give credit for. I would like to see that. I'd like to see somebody get dropped in that fight. That would be a good. I haven't seen Jesus drop anybody in a while. That would be very interesting. This one is probably going to be fight of the night candidate for me. Stephen Fulton versus Oshaki Foster. You said that we might have some clarity now on the 130-pound division. This is the fight. I mean, we're talking about Oshaki Foster. What impressed me the most in his career so far is when he went down to Cancun, Mexico, and he fought the Mexican fighter. I don't remember his name. Do you remember his name?
Eduardo Rocky Hernandez.
Rocky Hernandez. That fight really sold me on Oshaki Foster. Is that enough if Stephen Fulton takes an early lead?
It's a tough fight, right? Because it's like Shock is my guy, and I'm always going to go with Shock because he's always treated me so good in my career, and we've been rocking for about 6 years now. 6 or 7 years. We've just always had a great relationship. And when he is on, I think he's a top 10 level fighter, and he's got a top 10 level jab in the sport of boxing. The thing with Shock is, and it's a theme of this, is punch volume. So Shock, not unlike a lot of elite level fighters, will do great defensive moves, do great things, but sometimes he's not super active, and that sometimes the judges aren't rewarding him because of his lack of activity. Fulton can be active, but Fulton is very up and down in performances. It kind of scares me about that he's moving up in weight with Shock because Fulton's been hurt to the body. Shock's good at punching to the body. So really, to me, I favor Foster, who's angry going into this fight. Kind of see a stoppage, to be perfectly honest. I think that he's going to target the body, and I think this fight lives and dies by how Fulton takes a body shot.
Interesting. Who's your pick?
Fulton.
Fulton? Yeah. Shout out to Drew Evo out there if you're listening.
And that's no discredit to Fulton or any of the fighters. This is just no emotion, just my assessment.
Yeah, and is he a 3-division world champion, right?
Well, he's a 2-division world champion. He's 122, 126, and this would be his attempt to be a 3-division world champion, which I think would basically make him a Hall of Fame boxer. Once you start becoming a 3-division champion, you're pretty much there to be a Hall of Fame boxer.
At Devin Haney's young age, Hall of Fame?
I think he's right about there. Like, you don't want to prematurely call someone a Hall of Fame boxer, right? But what Devin's accomplished, well, I think that like the Hall, I'm not a Hall of Fame voter, but the way I perceive the Hall of Fame, and this might be a podcast for a different day, for maybe a holiday podcast, maybe we do it together, is people try to quantify Hall of Fame, right? 3-division, this many title defenses. I think another part of the Hall of Fame is influence. How much did you influence your era? How much did you create a special relationship with the fans while achieving at the top of the card? If you opened a gym, would you want a poster of this fighter because they served a major historical purpose in the sport of boxing? Without a doubt, Devin Haney fits that box. So I think Devin's trending towards a Hall of Fame boxer.
Wow. Shout out to Devin Haney. 2 more fights really quickly. And again, I apologize to everybody listening. If there was an echo, I'm going to see if I can fix it and post this show up later. This fight should be easy to call now that it's Erislandy Lara versus Johan Gonzalez. I'm
a huge Lara guy. I think he could be a champion until he's 50. He's got one of the best jabs in boxing. The thing I love about Lara, right, is he's got a stick of dynamite in his left hand, and then you have to respect that left hand, and then while you're respecting it, he hits you with his jab. So he's like, okay, I'm going to... And it takes talent to make boring fights, as funny as that sounds. So you have to be a very talented fighter to make a fight very boring, and Lara's the master of... Out of nowhere, he knocks a guy out. So it's like you're like, why is nothing happening? And then all of a sudden, the guy breaks his position, tries to charge in, walks into a left hand, and the fight's over. I'm very impressed with Lara's ability just to stay long. When you don't engage, he'll just hit you with the jab, hit you with the jab. It's a good, strong, straight, annoying jab. And then if you give him any opportunity, that left hand is basically a one-hitter, one-punch knockout punch. So... I think that this is too much for Johan Gonzalez, probably a stoppage. I think Lara dictates however the fight goes. This is on Lara however he wants to win.
In the main event, Any surprises there?
Well, what do you guys think?
I like Lara. In a stoppage.
Yeah. Why am I confused? Wasn't it the Roach fight? Isn't Roach Cruz on this?
Roach is the main event. Roach Cruz.
Okay. Wow, that one's kind of tough to call. You got Pitbull Cruz, who has this, a very impressive win over Raleigh Romero. But then the triangle theories never seem to work out. And Roach is coming off what perceived by most boxing fans is a victory over Gervonta Tank Davis. Styles make fights. Mexican style versus Roach, who's a very effective counter puncher.
I like Roach.
And they said that Roach was heavier than Pitbull Cruz in the last final 2 weeks. So maybe he can get over the strength issue. Do you see an opportunity for Roach to counterpunch him all night, or is Mexican style prevail?
First off, not all weight is created equal. So just because someone weighs more doesn't mean they are more. That's always something you should always remember, because the way people carry weight, I could weigh 175 and Archer Betterbeef can weigh 175 and we could be the same weight, or I could weigh 195 and he could weigh 195 and we could both make 75, but our frame and how we carry the weight is much different, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I want it. Yeah, I want to first clarify that, because people sometimes just look at the numbers and go, okay, that's quantified, he's bigger. Not all those numbers. I got a full disclosure. The Roach family, I think just so highly of them. Lamont Sr., Lamont Roach Jr., I've been dealing with them. Big Ben Johnson and Jordan Roach, I've been dealing with them since probably 2022. So I've known them for a long time, 2022, 2023. And it's great to see the rise. This is going to be a real fight. It's going to be a competitive fight. It's going to be a hard fight. And part of why it's going to be a hard fight is I think it's hard to have a fight like Gervonta Davis, where the fans perceived you as winning, and to not get the rematch, and to go in there with a possibly more dangerous opponent, and to feel as though you rise to superstardom from the Gervonta fight. It's hard to not kind of have a hangover fight historically. It's hard for these bouts to not be tough. So I think Roach will win, but I think there's going to be some adversity he has to face in this fight. And I think that Cruz is one of these guys where you look at it, he's lost a couple of fights, he hasn't looked great in some fights. But I think people are kind of underestimating what Cruz brings to the fight. And people are going to be surprised that he really... when he's on, he's a magnificent pressure fighter. He kind of reminds me of the old middleweight from about maybe 11 years ago, Kurt Cedes, who's 5'4", and he fought at middleweight. And he kind of reminds me of him, where the body types don't match the division, but the pressure and the power overwhelms fighters. I'm curious to see how he tries to weaponize a pace and what speed he tries to make Lamont fight at. Because that's going to be the first battle, is how much energy Lamont has to use early in the fight, and also can Lamont get Roach's respect.
Best performance I've seen anybody have against Pitbull Cruz was El Rayo Valenzuela's, and where he earned that title and subsequently lost it rather quickly. But I mean, the blueprint there, I feel like the blueprint is there. Sorry,
can I add to that?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, like with Pitbull, right? A lot of people are like, all you gotta do is put him on the end of a stick, hit him, jab, turn him. I think he's got more than that, right? Because if you watch that Rayo fight, Rayo had to be in the trenches at moments and exchange. You can't just box like great pressure fighters, whether it's Chavez, whether it's Pitbull. You can't just. A jab isn't enough. You can't just, like, maybe if you're Floyd Mayweather, a jab is enough. Maybe if you're Andre Ward, a jab is enough. But for most mortal fighters, a jab is not enough. You're not going to be able to just keep a guy off with a stick. You're going to have to be in the pocket with this guy. You're going to have to hit him a few times and turn, because you're going to have to use all different ranges. You're going to have to fight in the mid-range. You're going to have to fight in close, probably hold when you're in close. You're going to have to go out. But I think the key is something that my dear friend John Pullman talks about, is when like Roach is on the ropes, there's something called a gray zone. He calls it a gray zone. And that's when you're on the ropes, you leave the ropes, and then when your opponent isn't expecting it, you jab. And I think that he's got to really, Roach has to, and Lamont Sr. knows all this stuff, but he's got to throw jabs when Pitbull isn't comfortable. And he's also got to mix up the variation and speed on his punches, because if he throws consistently too much, that's Pitbull's thing. Pitbull loves punching up, and he loves the same speed of shots coming back at him because he loves timing, slipping, shoot. That's all of his stuff. So I think that really with Pitbull, the blueprint, in my opinion, is you have to fight him a little bit on the inside, because I don't think he has as many tricks going backwards. It's dangerous, but you have to kind of get him going, doing his downhill thing, outbox him, but then you have to kind of mix it up with him so he doesn't try to get into a rhythm.
Oh, rhythm's going to be so important with Pitbull Cruz. So you're going with Roach?
Yeah, Roach.
Roach? Oh, man, this one's tough. Yeah, seeing how Roach handled Gervonta Tank Davis, seeing how Pitbull Cruz failed against Rayo Valenzuela. And don't get me wrong, when Pitbull Cruz against like when he fought Angel Fierro, what a fight they produced. But, certain type of fighters will do that. The two of them will put on an incredible performance. I'm going to go with Roach as well. Lukey, we're out here. Me and Vince are out living in Vegas. There's some fights that have already been announced and some that I'm rumored today, big rumor, or an announcement has been made that Virgil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis, a fight I thought I'd never see in 2026. They say it's looking like it could fall in Vegas, March, potentially. PBC's already got a few dates. What fights are you most interested or most happy to hear about in early part of 2026?
I'd rather hear what you guys are, because it's like the fights come to me, and then I just sort of watch them at this point. I don't think I'm a little burnt out, so I don't have that same enthusiasm and love as people, because I think this is my 5th year doing it like this, where I'm on a hamster wheel where it's week after week. You just go fight by fight. So it's more so what you guys have enthusiasm around, because I think that for me, it's like Charlie Sheehy when he fights, like people that I know, people that I'm close with. Those are the fights that excite me, I really like Amado Vargas based on my interactions with him. I've really enjoyed him. So like when he fights, I'll be excited. So for me, it's more about the person, the people that I know, and less so about the matchups. Every now and then there's a matchup I really want to see, but for me, it's more about my relationship with the fighters.
So that you mentioned Amado, that fight's coming up. It's not like it's not getting the attention because it's influencer misfits, the misfits, but it's exciting nonetheless to me.
He's a good fighter.
Dean the Great, who he's fighting.
Yeah, not that bad.
He posted on his social media that he's been in camp with Janabek, this whole camp, and he made strong assertions that Janabek is innocent. And I don't know, but the fact that he's in camp with Janabek, that's impressive. I'm looking forward to that. I saw Roy Jones with the main event guy. What's his name? The main event on that card.
Andrew Tate.
Yeah, Andrew Tate. I always want to forget his name. But anyways, there's a lot to look forward still in the month of December. Will you be watching the other big Netflix event, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, obviously? You think he stands?
I watch everything. I'm watching the Monte Carlo fights. I'll watch this. If it's boxing, I watch it.
So we do have to run, but your thoughts on his impressive sparring partners? I was surprised with who Jake Paul brought into camp. That was like some strong.
Looked good in the photo.
Looked good in the photo.
He did.
I haven't seen any video. Lukey, I appreciate you coming on, spending an hour of your time with us. Make sure everybody knows. I'll put it in the link description at Big Dog Lukey. He's got his own channel here. You can read at boxingscene.com. Any other places they can read about you?
Just tune into your show. I'm sure if you Google something, you'll run into something I do. But really, just subscribe to this channel, support these guys, and that's really all.
I appreciate it. And you know what? I got a copy I didn't give, but Vince, Lukey is an author. I'm going to bring his book. I'm going to give you his boxing book.
Awesome.
Add to this amazing collection of stuff. Lukey, I'll catch you on the next one. I appreciate you coming here today. Peace out, Lukey. I appreciate everybody that's still here, guys. I don't know where the echo was. I'm going to listen to it when I get home.
Somebody said it was on his side.
And see if there's anything I could do about it. I'll repost the show. But, Yeah, I do got to get going, but I got to ask you, what'd you think about that announcement that the fight between Virgil and Boots is imminent?
I hope it happens, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No. They got the date,
They're going to pull a heart muscle.
All right. Let me quickly pull this up because.
But I can't wait for Benavidez to fight. Cinco de Mayo.
One of my Twitter friends posted, oh my God. One of my Twitter friends posted, and he went to the Nevada. You can do this yourself. You can go to the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and they basically post promoters who've booked in a place. Where did it go?
Oh, wow.
Well, March 28th, TGB Matchroom Boxing.
In Vegas?
They've got MGM Grand booked. Now, Matchroom Boxing is Eddie Hearn. Yes. So they may be the lead promoter, and that seems like a date that is realistic, but they're talking, last week they were talking about Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis on the undercard of David Benavidez, May 2nd, and that is nice. Penciled in according to the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Nice. Cinco de Mayo is getting David Benavidez, which will be the first time since I lived here. We're going to be busy next year, man.
I went through the era with De La Hoya, Mayweather, Canelo.
And January, Murataya versus Andy Cruz for a 135-pound championship. That's top rank. That's at Fontainebleau. We got to go to that. We'll have the big fights in March. And I even heard that potentially Katie Taylor will be fighting former UFC champion Ronda Rousey.
That's my favorite fighter, even though she's horrible. But
Ronda Rousey used to be cool, man. She used to talk to my wife on social media back and forth, but she was famous. I'm like, okay, she's cool. But I seen her working out. The boxing, it's not looking good, guys.
She's a boxing coach, not an MMA trainer.
But she should come to Vegas. She should bring her training camp to Vegas because that's a tall task for her to beat Katie Taylor. And maybe they should stop putting those videos of her workouts.
And you know who would be good to train her? Jorge Capetillo will be good training.
There you have it, man, right here in Las Vegas. Guys, I appreciate Vince having me over. We're going to fine-tune all the studio, find out where that echo was, and we'll be back next week.
And one more thing.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the Laker player, Eldon Campbell. He passed away yesterday.
I didn't know that. Shout out to everybody there who loves the Lakers. He passed away?
Yes.
Do you know?
They haven't said it yet.
Okay.
But it was funny because I read it, and Byron Scott made something yesterday. So I went on TMZ because TMZ knows everything.
Right.
Nothing, but today it's out.
Right. And again, it is the holidays, guys. I'm just my thoughts and prayers for everybody out there who's been affected by the violence. It's a very tragic and sad thing going on, man. It's just like, it's Christmas, man. Everybody's got to chill and put all the violence down.
Yes.
Like the time we talked about Stockton, there was a case in San Jose. I lived in San Jose for 20 years where, unfortunately, last year a young fighter, a boxer, they mistook him for a gang affiliated, and this kid was doing everything right, man. 15 years old, a strong amateur standout in the South Bay area of California, and they just mistook him. And that's what these communities need. We need more boxing gyms.
Yeah.
We need more programs to give kids an outlet for. Especially like boxing, bro. If you have a son that likes to throw hands, that's what you got. You put them in martial arts, karate, kickboxing, boxing, MMA is very popular. I don't care what sport it is, but we need more people who are taking that leadership role and showing kids there's other ways.
And they'll get disciplined in that sport. They will get disciplined.
Yeah. So we need more of that, not just here in our community in Las Vegas, but in communities all around the U.S., giving people an outlet. I don't know. That's only part of the solution, but so my thoughts and prayers with everybody out there.
Yes.
Vince, appreciate you, man. We'll hit you guys up on the next one. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace out.